What is up, Stoppage Time and Serie A fans? This is a very special edition of Stoppage Time. I'm Cliff, and my co-host for this interview is everybody's favorite Juventina, Lex, and we have a very special guest, Daniele Proch, and he is a Serie D player as well as a writer for Forbes, and he plays for the team Delta Porto Tolle in Italy. And Daniele, thank you so much for coming on. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, Cliff, and thank you, Lex, for having me on. And great pronunciation, by the way, Cliff.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like that. I like that he's already giving me props on my pronunciation. How great is that? But give the people a little bit of a background about you and kind of your journey in calcio.
Yeah, my journey in calcio started way back when I was 3 years old. I started to play for a local club in northern Italy. The town is called Arco. I started to play there, and then when I was about 15, I joined the academy of a professional team in the north, played a couple years there, and then moved on to play first team soccer in Serie D for 2 years. And after that, I decided to make a move to the United States. I first landed at a Division two college in North Carolina. After my freshman year, I was able to transfer to Duke University, so Division One soccer, where I graduated. Then moved on to play 1 year of USL Championship in Raleigh, so for North Carolina FC. And after that, it was the COVID year. I went back home for the winter, and I found a good opportunity near Verona, still northern Italy. Played there, and then this year, like you said correctly, I'm at Delta Porto Tolle.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's great. It's interesting to hear about your journey, and seems like you've played for a lot of quality sides over your career so far. So I guess what we're wondering is, what is it like playing professionally in Italy now versus when you were playing Division One soccer at Duke in the U.S.?
It's a much different playing style for sure. In college, it is more of a chaotic, let's call it that way, chaotic style. There's a lot of running. You have to be physically very ready for it. Versus now, it's more similar, let's say, to the U.S. Championship level, where teams are more organized. There's a more a stronger tactical aspect to the game, and Italy especially. The shape of the team is essential. So there's not much, let's say, running around, but it's more knowing how to position yourself both in possession and off the ball. And that's, I would say, is the biggest difference. But that makes sense because college soccer is still youth soccer, because you have players in between 18 to 24. So you cannot expect those players to be already experienced and to have that kind of soccer maturity, that kind of soccer intellect to already know how to play with like an experienced team. Versus now, you play with players that also have played higher division soccer, and they know those little tricks that can help make a team more mature and more responsible, also in the way they handle a result and the way they manage game like situations.
So to follow up on Lex's question, when you played, obviously you said a little bit about the differences, but do you understand like if there's more of a physical aspect just in United States soccer overall compared to in Italy? Is it more who can run the fastest, who's more physical compared to in Italy where I feel like it's more technical and more strategically and tactically ingrained in the culture of playing calcio over there?
Yeah, for sure. In Italy, you see things that um, maybe you don't see that often in US soccer, in terms of player creativity, the way they come up with through passes or incredible goals. Versus the US, put more emphasis, like you said, on the athletic aspect of it. There's a lot of studies, a lot of work in the gym, in the conditioning part of the training, and that makes the game more challenging in that aspect, because you have to be ready for that. But I do think the US is growing in that sense, because it's attracting more and more players from all over the world. So especially there's a lot of South American players who bring the kind of the genius, right, that soccer needs, and it's growing in that sense. versus Italy is like you said, very tactic based, and a lot of players with great technique end up making the difference.
Yeah, 100%. That's really cool to hear what you're saying about, you know, the United States and the South American players coming in, like the creativity that they bring. So that's really cool insight. The next question I want to ask is, what is the best part about what you do, about, you know, playing at that team that you play at as in Serie D, as well as you also write for Forbes, which is really incredible that you do that as well. So tell us a little bit about what your favorite thing, you know, what your favorite part about doing those things is.
Yeah, I'll start with the first part, which is being able to play the sport you love, have fun with it, stay physically fit, be in a healthy environment with teammates, and that's and while being able to make a living out of it, because that just gives you that mental stability, the mental calm to approach the day.
Mhm.
And like you said, so I also write for Forbes as a contributor, and that thanks to the fact that soccer is a job. Being a soccer player is a job that allows you to have like half of your day free. Not every day, because sometimes you have 2 a days, but
Mhm.
some days you have half of your day free, so you can manage your time to do other things. And so because I studied journalism while in college, I'm now able to use that to report and write during my free time, and be able to produce articles for Forbes.
Wow, that's awesome.
Well, that's an awesome segue into our next question, which was to ask you if you can give us a little bit of an insight into your day-to-day life as a Serie D player. So maybe your training days versus your days off. What do you like to do?
Yeah, so we train 6 out of 7 days, game day included. So we have Monday off, and then we do one training session on Tuesday, which is usually we get split into two groups, right? Who played on Sunday? Those players, maybe they go through rehab session. They just make a little jog, some stretching, or maybe some possession. And the guys who did not play a lot of minutes, they're gonna have a very intense training session with maybe 5 aside, small sided games where the intensity is high for short periods of time. That's Tuesday. Then on Wednesday we have 2 a days. So we train in the morning. We do a strengthening work in the gym, and that's basically all we do in the morning on Wednesday. It's about an hour 15, an hour and 20 minutes, and then we eat all together. We have lunch, about an hour of relax, and then we are at the field again, and we do a session based on explosiveness, based on quick games. There's this thing called we call it the cage, which is basically 5 aside with bumpers, so that the ball is always on. You have to be always on your feet, always ready to sprint right and left. And that's a way, to transform the strengthening work that you did in the morning. So you transform that, we use that term, transform that into explosive power. That's Wednesday. Thursday is usually the day when we do full games, so full field game. We do maybe two 25 minutes halves, and we play long distance, so normal. We simulate a game like situation. And then on Friday is the day where you kind of tone down the intensity of the training, and you start focusing on the technical aspects, on the concentration. You concentrate more on the quality of your technical gestures, so that you start on one side, you start recover from maybe the weak work, and you start to enter the to just start to get in the zone mentally for the game. That was Friday. Saturday morning is is the session where you do set pieces, where you do very easy stuff. You don't want to get too heavy on your legs, and you bring up the concentration again even further. For Sunday's game, we play Sunday's games at 3 p.m. Sometimes at home, sometimes away. Sometimes we travel on Saturday after the morning session if the game is very far. And then in the morning and on Monday, sorry, is day off, and we usually do we make trips right around Italy with our teammates. We are lucky enough to have Venice at about an hour north, so we've been to Venice. We walked around Venice. There was the carnival in Venice a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
But Venice is beautiful all year round. We have Bologna, an hour west of us. We have Ferrara, which is another beautiful city. So we try to see things. We try to switch off, to turn off mentally from soccer that day, and enjoy the beautiful country and your teammates.
That's awesome. That's such a great response. And actually, I wanted to follow up on that question because everybody wants to know what does a pro athlete eat? What's in their eating schedule? Do you guys have a personal chef? Do you have a dietitian? And do you get to indulge in pasta on a daily basis? Everybody wants to know.
Only if it's wheat pasta, okay?
Okay.
Not whole pasta, not the regular pasta. It's the wheat pasta is still fine, but what we eat a lot. So I wish we had a chef, but we're not at that level where we have a personal chef. So we have to be very disciplined within with our diet. Luckily, I live with two teammates who are likewise disciplined, and we help each other, right? Stay on track with our diet. We eat a lot of cereal and not breakfast cereal. I mean like cereal like whey. What are
Okay.
the names? Oats. I'm having
Nice.
trouble translating them into English right now. A lot of cereals and legumes. Is that how you say legumes?
Oh, legumes like beans and lentils,
Legumes,
stuff like that.
exactly. Lentils, that kind of stuff. Another cereal we eat is quinoa, is bugler. There's a lot of it's a lot of cereals and legumes. How do you say it again? I forgot about that.
Legumes.
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 It
Okay.
sounds like
Uh,
French.
it's a word I never used in the US, I think, and I started to learn that when I came back here. I don't know why, but a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruit for
Mhm.
sure. We don't eat that much pasta or rice in their normal form.
Yeah.
If we eat that, it's like wheat rice or wheat pasta.
Okay.
A couple of times a week, we have fish.
Okay.
Um, we also have lean meat 2 or 3 times a week. It's called bresaola. It's called
Oh,
or maybe
braciole.
bresaola. It's very
Yeah.
lean and it's easy to digest, which is good for to eat before training or before
Mhm.
games. We eat turkey breast, chicken breast,
Nice.
that kind of stuff, of course. And then we must have our cheat day, obviously, which for me starts from after the game on Sunday, and then it ends on Monday night. So whenever the game is finished on Sunday night, I know I have about 24 hours when I can indulge in typical Italian food and mentally switch off, even in that sense from my sport commitment, and then resume that when it's with Monday's dinner.
You had me a cheat day. I love a good cheat day. But I have to ask, what's your favorite? What's your go-to meal? Like when you're training, what's your go-to meal like during your regiment? And then what's your go-to meal on a cheat day?
Okay, before training, first off, we try eating at least 2.5 hours before training. Okay, and my go-to meal would be either wheat rice with the lean meat as a second dish, like a bresaola, for instance,
Hmm.
and maybe some veggies before that. And on cheat day, man, I can start a long list of dishes that but I'll go with lately I've appreciated a lot a very well made aglio olio peperoncino, which is garlic, oil, and spicy peppers. It's a very apparently on the surface is a very simple dish to make, but it tastes so good. The right amount of spiciness in that, and I just love it with just a flavor of a Parmesan cheese on top. It just makes it perfect.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. You're making me hungry now. And I already ate. So I guess the next question I want to get into, I think you told us before the show, but tell the people, who's your favorite team, and tell us a little bit about the backstory about how you fell in love with that team.
Yeah, my favorite team in Italy is AC Milan, and
That's too
I
bad.
owe that to. No, you're wearing a Juventus jersey at the moment. I'll try to ignore that, but my I owe my love to AC Milan to the days of Carlo Ancelotti as a head coach. Early 2000, I grew up watching Filippo Inzaghi, Andriy Shevchenko, Ricardo Kaká, Andrea Pirlo. Those guys just made me fall in love with the red and black. And of course, my older brother was supporting AC Milan as well because my mom is from Milan. So I was also highly influenced by his passion for the Rossoneri. And lately, I know we haven't had great days, but I think that the new ownership and the new management is making a big difference. Long term, we'll see the results of this policy of the club. What's happened with Çalhanoğlu, Donnarumma, and those guys who try to have their contract renewed at higher amounts, and they said as a club, okay, this is our policy. If you want to stay, these are the terms. If not, you can leave. Like, I think they're setting the team up for success in the long term, and you can see how manager Stefano Pioli is doing a great job with young players. So I think that there's going to be a return of the great AC Milan in 4 to 5 years. And this year, man, we're fighting for the Scudetto race, huh? We're there.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what are your thoughts on this year's title race in Serie A?
I love it. I love it because it's right now the most open title race in Europe, the most competitive. You have Inter, Napoli, and AC Milan. And I'm not going to write off Juventus in that or Atalanta because there's still 10 games to play. I like it because unlike what happened maybe in previous years where Juventus killed the league with 4 or 5 games to be played, now I think it's gonna go to the last game. It's gonna go to the last game because there are weeks where all the top 3 or 4 teams drop points, so there's no team who is killing the league, and that makes it so exciting. And it's really a league to watch until the very last minute.
Yeah, 100%. And let's hope Juventus wins the league just so that we're happy. No, but that's really amazing. That's really cool. And we really appreciate your insight. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to hop on the show with us. We hope to have you on again. Hopefully, maybe for a Juventus Milan match in the future, we can talk about some Juventus Milan. We can have a nice heated discussion. But thank you, Daniele, for joining the show. And you have a great rest of the day. And thank you to all of our listeners. We will have this out really soon. So thank you, everyone. Ciao, and have a nice day.
Thank you, guys. It was real
Thank
fun.
you.